Say again your clothing website, because I think every listener is going to start buying those clothes for the radiation radio wave protection. So tell us what that one is again.
It's Spero, SPERO, protection, PROTECTION, clothing, CLOTHING.com. The brand is Spero, which is a Latin word, SPERO, like Spiro, which translates to hope, because I'm hoping, I'm inspiring to bring hope to the next generation, so that they don't have to suffer from the consequences of all this radiation, so that they can just protect themselves. Right now I have hats, I have cell phone bags, and maternity aprons, and soon, as sales pick up, I'll be able to offer more, like the T-shirts and the hoodies and the men's underwear coming very soon. But please check out the website and bookmark it, and thank you.
Oh, I expect you're gonna get some sales real quick now, Matt. Including us. Yeah, we've been looking for quite some time trying to figure out how to block all this nasty stuff, and if you have clothing that's silver lined that'll do that, I mean that's just absolutely wonderful. And thank you for coming up with that. All right, so I'd like to open it up. We have quite a few listeners today, and I'd like you to open it up for any questions for Matt. So anybody would like to ask Matt a question?
Yeah, hi Matt. Hi Bob. This is Val from Huntington Beach. And Matt, I was the one who contacted you on Facebook to set this up, so I really appreciate you coming on. It's great information. The knowledge is really needed. And we're part of a nonprofit. Bob mentioned some of what we do, and we basically promote, you could say, we promote awareness. So there's knowledge, and then the next step would be, we could say, awareness and recognition about what's really going on. So we try to take it the next step further beyond the knowledge part, which is, again, very, very useful and necessary. But what I'd like to do is to invite you, since you're a filmmaker, to see if you would consider doing a documentary on taking it a next step further, like taking it to where basically, you know, with the guidance, like Bob was saying, guidance of the Real Guides, with what we're doing with our nonprofit. Just let me back up a little bit. We're not political. We're not religious or spiritual or anything like that. We don't have an agenda, but we are just real with what's going on, just like you are. So we're just presenting this stuff, this information. So the invitation would be for you to make a documentary about just what's real, what's going on from a viewpoint that's really unique. It's never really been presented before in this planet in a way that's, like you say, simple enough for people to get and that they could relate to. But I'll talk to you more about it. But since you are into the business of filmmaking, and it does get the word out in a real way, the documentaries, more so than just word of mouth, the visuals, everything that you do with it, it does make a big impact. So the invitation to consider working with us, we support each other financially and other ways to get this information out into the next step, where would be a recognition or an awareness. And that may be a little bit beyond, it's hard to understand that to the literal mind, but it's where we're going with this. Because we know what's going on. We're sharing this as well. You're sharing it in a very eloquent way, refined way, which is wonderful. And it's tough to get through the consciousness of the people because they are so programmed and indoctrinated. So, again, the invitation to do something in the way of a documentary where we could share more, just share a unique perspective of what's going on. So I'll talk to you later about it. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I would love.
Thank you.
Would love. And you're welcome. And I would love to explore that. I think it's very important to find any way that we can to meet people where they're at, and the media, such as the documentary, is like the best way, or one of the best ways to do that, to reach a lot of people, because there's only so much eye contact you can make. Though I fully encourage getting out there and making eye contact. That's really what has inspired myself to keep on going, is seeing all the light and all these people, and seeing how many people are out there that are already on that page. The controlled media likes to tell you that you're alone, and then that disempowers you, and you don't embrace your spirituality or any of this inspiring evolution of the heart and consciousness that we're all going through, right? But the social media and the control mechanisms, they want to tell you that you're alone, right? And it's so important to get the message out there that not only are you not alone, but there's so much more to learn and so much more to life. And yeah, I would love to explore that. And I do want to come down to Huntington Beach and do a talk on all this, and even a Frankenstein screening. It's been on my radar for a while. Huntington Beach and Santa Cruz. I just keep wanting to do it, and I just keep getting. There's so much to do. so please keep me in mind.
Yeah, we'll set up a place for you down here in Huntington so you can do the film and get together with it. Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Terrific. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thank you, Val. Anybody else would like to say something or ask a question for Matt? Claudia, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I was talking on mute. I just wanted to say, dear Matt, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm a grandmother in Texas, and I'm looking forward to purchasing the clothes and participating, donating to the movie. The research that you have done, you mentioned about going to a different search engine than Google. Could you share that with us, please?
Yes, and it's been an interesting journey for me. I was born in 1980, and I believe I've been really analyzing my life and what I feel like I've come here to do and all these sort of things. And I do believe that I'm on a mission. And I came in 1980. And the Internet, when I was 18, I was learning about the Internet. When I was 16, the Internet was just coming out. When I went to university, it was all brand new, So back when the Internet first came out, for people that don't remember or don't know, there were dozens and dozens and dozens of different search engines. InfoSeek was one of them. There was a lot. And at that time, and this is how it works in free market capitalism, when there's not a monopoly, everyone has to kind of play by the rules, because if one is lying, people are just going to migrate to the other one that's got the truth involved. But now that we've entered into this new timeline or dystopian reality where all of the money is being filtered to a select few, these monopolistic laws that should be keeping us safe, they're not being abided to. They're not being abided by. If they were, Monsanto would never have been able to buy Bayer. That's definition conflict of interest, So either way, we're limited now, and I encourage any people out there that have the design ability to even make a small search engine or to support other ones. The one that I do, that's my lengthy explanation to DuckDuckGo, like the animal duck. DuckDuckGo, I think, is the name of the search engine. I think it's actually even a browser. Okay, and then you can, instead of doing Chrome, that's a browser, you can do Firefox, and then DuckDuckGo is the search. Yeah, DuckDuckGo. I know it's a funny name, but that's what it is. It's DuckDuckGo. And I bet once you're on DuckDuckGo, you could probably search and find some other search bars, search engines. But yeah, now it's like, what do we have? We have Bing, which is Microsoft, which is Bill Gates, and he's a globalist, populationist, eugenist. He's actually he is the sugar daddy, they claim, of geoengineering. So for the past decade, he's been saying, yeah, I'm funding it, I'm the guy behind it, I've got the patents, and Harvard professor David Keith, I'm his sole financier. Not the Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation, but Bill Gates. He is the sugar daddy of geoengineering. He is the financial backing, he claims, to be the one behind dimming our sun. And that's been going on since the mid-'90s. So Chrome, that's him. Google, I mean, either way, Bing, Chrome is Google, Bing is Microsoft. We don't want to support Bing. And then we don't want to support Google because that's just another massive monopoly. I wish I wasn't supporting Facebook, but I ended up with 45,000 followers on there, and I get severely censored. But still, I'm left with no option, which is really sad. I'm not really left with no option. I get out into the real world. I've reacted to and been inspired by the censorship, so I actually get out into the real world, and I encourage people to do so, because the control of information in the digital world, the way to combat that is using your voice as your weapon, spreading the truth in a grounded, calm manner to the people out in the world. You would never believe the amazing experiences I've had by going to a farmer's market with a very nice, colorful, perfected flyer and just talking about the weather. Nothing about chemtrails, all this, but the facts are there. The 1920s footage that the film Frankenstein even begins with. After you get to the 1930s, it's self-evident that the weather can and is controlled. So, yeah, thanks for that question.
Well, thank you, Claudia. That was a good question. So, DuckDuckGo, and I recommend that one for everybody. That seems to be a really, really good search engine. And I also agree with getting off of Chrome and all those other sites, which all they do is monitor you 24/7, and everything you say winds up in that big computer out in Utah. So I recommend not using Chrome either, but that's everybody's choice, I guess. So anybody else like to ask a question? Or maybe you have a story to tell. Please step in and tell us what you have.
Hi, this is Tim in Oregon.
Hi, Tim.
I had a dream vision last night about some of what you're talking about right now, about the radiation and the prevention of being radiated, like you're talking about the clothing. In this world, which we see as one of the places in the psychic realms, it just seems like the powers that be, whether they're radiating us, and even with the protection of the clothing, like you're attempting to provide to protect people from the radiation, how would we be protected from poison air and how they poison our water and the poisoning of our food? It just goes on and on with the vaccines and all these things in this physical realm. It seems like it needs to be mentioned about the real universes and on to remember why we came here, that this is a human farming prison planet. You're probably aware of reptilian influence on Earth people and that kind of history that's people are becoming aware of right now. So I just see it as, no matter all these physical attempts that seem to be so important to so many, what is the real outcome? You're just going to keep coming back to this earth? Is that what's important, to see it as a place where you're trying to, save this planet or make it better while we're here? But it seems like what I'm aware of from this new presentation is that all we're doing is trying to make the prison yard a little cleaner or better to be in, but we're still stuck in the prison yard. So what the new presentation is offering is the guidance through the Real UNUversal Guides to get out of these psych realms and not have to reincarnate in the physical. That even with all our attempts, it looks like the view is that it's going to be wasted efforts in the physical, that it's all going to be getting worse and worse. So what do you have to say about those words?
I'm very happy that you asked the question and shared your thoughts, and I've got a response for that. Firstly, I don't know if you're in Southern Oregon, but on Thanksgiving Day, I'm co-hosting an event at the Ashland Wellspring called Activist Earthsgiving, an alternative to Thanksgiving, from 2 to 9 at the Jackson Well Hot Springs, the Well Springs, and we'll have speakers and musicians all focused on truth and uplifting, unity, and potluck and all that sort of stuff. So if you're around Ashland and you can join, everyone's invited, please join us. And so the ultimate agenda is here's how I see it. I see humanity is on a timeline towards an elevation of consciousness. Not just humanity, but everything on Earth. The entire plane of existence has this trajectory, and I believe that it's done it before, and it's going to do it again, where there's an elevation of frequency beyond physicality, where basically everything vibrates to a point where there's no physicality. We're not that dense anymore. But while on our trajectory, yes, there's evil forces that seem to be in the process of attempting to hijack our everything, our timeline, our destiny, our consciousness. But just like in my life, I saw the darkness to realize that there was light, and I do believe that the awakening of consciousness, that the evolution of consciousness, it might have to come with seeing the dark. But what we're here to do is to plant the seed of truth, even if we don't see the seeds, all the seeds germinate and flower in our lifetime.